Alright, so this is for Theater 4030. I don't really have a cool camera, so we're just gonna have to do the Mac for right now, but I'm gonna tell my story. So my story starts out with me and my friends. It was a weekend, and we were trying to find something cool to do that weekend. Well, we don't party, we don't drink, so, you know, when you, when you don't really do those kind of things, you kind of have to be creative about the things you're going to do. So that night, we decided that we were going to go ghost hunting. Now, no big deal. We're just 22. We're still ghost hunters. But I love it. I do it. We do it quite often, actually. But this particular night I was going to talk about was probably the scariest thing that's ever happened to me in my life. We first started out at a little place called Hobbitville. Now, Hobbitville is in Salt Lake City. It's across the street from Westminster, and it's supposed to be a place where you can go and find a bunch of little houses and little people. And apparently at night, they'll chase you with bats, and they'll try and hit you. No big deal. We wanted some adventure, so we decided to go there. When we got there, we got out of the car and we walked to the front. If you've ever been there, it's kind of like a U shape in the front, and so you have to get past the U shape to get to the little houses. So we started our way down the path of the U shape, and we were stopped by an old man. No big deal. He told us to get the heck off the property, and we said no. We want to see the little houses. That's what we're here for. We want to see them. So he wouldn't allow that, and he told us that if we didn't get off the property right then and there, he would call the cops and have us escorted off the premises. So we're good kids. We didn't really want to deal with the cops, so we said, all right, we'll leave. So we left. But we didn't want the adventures to stop there, so we decided that we were going to make our way over to the Salt Lake Cemetery. Now, if you've ever been to a cemetery at night, you know that you have to be really careful, because if cops catch you, you can get fined pretty big, pretty heavily. So we knew we had to be careful. So we parked a couple blocks away. That's kind of the thing we do, is park a couple blocks away, because if cops see your car, you're done. You're good. You gotta go home. So we decided to park a couple blocks away. We walked to the cemetery, and at the cemetery, our destination was Emo's grave. Now, Emo's grave, the legend has it that you walk around a circle of Emo's grave 3 times, saying his name, and on the 3rd time, you look in the grave, and you're supposed to see the reflection of your face. Well, we actually didn't make it to Emo's grave that night, because as we continued to walk, we saw 2 cars. When you see cars at a cemetery at night, you hide. So we found these tombstones, and we hid behind them. We saw 1 car go by. It wasn't a cop, luckily, so we got up and continued to walk towards Emo's grave. Then all of a sudden we saw another car, and it was a cop. And so we ran as fast as we could. My heart was pounding 100 miles per hour, and I felt like we were going to get caught. And so, I just busted as fast as I could. Now, I'm not a runner, so I didn't run too hard or too fast, but we finally made it off the property so we could calm down. So we were over there, taking our deep breaths, and we thought, why should the adventure end here? Like, let's do something else. So, the cemetery was kind of scary. We're like, let's go find another cemetery. My friend Jeff, who was with me that night, told me that the Magna Cemetery was a pretty scary place to go, and we should definitely check it out. Well, if you know me, I'm all up for scary and adventure. Like, bring it on. I'll do it. So we went and got in our car, and we made our journey to Magna, Utah. So we made it to Magna. We parked 2 blocks away, because remember, if you don't, you will get caught. So we parked two blocks away and we started on our journey to the cemetery. Well, as we approached it, we saw two people. People at night are kind of scary if you don't know who they are. And tonight was especially scary because we found two Gothic people. Now, I don't have a problem with Gothics. Do what you will. But two Gothics at a cemetery at night, kind of scary. Scared me a little bit. One was a girl. She had long black hair and she was dressed in a witch's outfit. Her face was painted white and her lips black. And then there was a boy. And they could have been boyfriend, girlfriend, brother and sister, whatever, but they were still all dressed in black, both white painted faces and both black lips. The boy had on like a cloak. So it was kind of eerie, a little scary. And the feeling that night was really creepy. Like, it was almost like a scary movie where you know that something's going to happen and something's awaiting you, but you just don't know what it is. But we didn't care. We were there for adventure, and like I said, anything scary, I'm going to do it. And there's no stopping me. So we started up the hill. You have to go up a hill and cross some train tracks before you reach the gravestones at the Magna Cemetery. So we started up the hill and we crossed the train tracks. And as we approached the hill, we saw two more people. I'm not sure if it was the same one or if they were in the clique together, but it scared us and we didn't know what to do. So I turned to my friend Jeff and I said, should we keep walking or should we turn back? And he said, let's keep walking, just a little bit more. So we continued walking and we approached those two Gothic people. We went past them and you got a really evil feeling come inside you. I didn't really know what to do. So I said, I think we better head back. So we both turned around. Well, there was 5 of us. So we all turned around and started running back to the car as fast as we could. And like I said, I'm not a very good runner. And 2 times this night, that really wore me out. I mean, not really fit for this kind of stuff, but I'm not going to get killed. So we ran as fast as we could back to the car. Well, when we got down to the bottom, there were 2 people right by our car. Now that's a really scary feeling to know that you might die. But we decided to continue walking because what else can you do? I mean, you just got to make it back to your car. So when we got back to the car, we jumped in and tried to just ignore the people. But we were all shaken because the people were still there. Like, they wouldn't go away. Even as we got closer, you'd think they would walk away from the car, but they didn't. So we got in the car and started up, and my friend Jeff looked over, and they were right by the windows. So there were 2 people right by the windows. So we didn't think much about it. We turned on the car, and we backed the heck out of there because, like I said, I'm not getting killed that night. And when we left, I looked back, and my friend Jeff is pretty shaken up, and he's not the kind of guy to get, scared or anything. And I said, why are you so scared, Jeff? And he said, when I looked in their eyeballs, they were completely black. Now, that's kind of scary. I don't know if they were contacts or what, but that was probably the scariest thing that's ever happened to me, and that is why I wanted to tell this story. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a little crazy, but that's my night of adventure.